So first off, gentlemen, thank you for playing. Games were enjoyable to cast and fun to watch. So first off, I'd like to ask you, is there anything you would like to plug or shout out to? Printf.
Well, I would like to plug my own stream of twitch.tv/QuasarPrintf, where I can rush Mass Reapers, and it's fun.
Nice.
And I would like to plug twitch.tv/Ninja Starcraft, who is another can rusher who was in Grandmasters last season. So you should check him out.
Excellent. Okay, looks like Nazgul has nothing of his own. I would recommend that you check out my co-caster slash streamer here at twitch.tv/zero lambda. And you guys know where all my stuff is by now. So if you really, really want to know, just scroll down. It's like right below the stream.
Yes, thank you.
But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the game specifically. I am interested in a couple specific elements of the games because I've talked to you guys a lot about your different strategies by now. So this may seem a little different to some people than previous interviews. But first off is about the maps that you guys picked. So could you walk us through your vetoes?
All right. Well, he vetoed Foxtrot, which was always my map that I'm going to veto because it just hurts me aesthetically.
Oh.
And then I vetoed Overgrowth because it's really bad for Reapers, and it's not horrible for can rushing, but it's not best map for it, and I don't really play on it much anyway since I only recently unvetoed it on the ladder, so I vetoed that. And then Deadwing, it's just a really large map, and I'm uncomfortable on those.
Okay, makes sense. For Nazgul, he says that he vetoed Foxtrot because it sucks. It's just straight up sucks. Okay, and Merry Round because he likes the other maps better, which I think fair enough. So okay, with that done, that means that the resulting map pool, King's Dong Station, Catalina, Nimbus. So it sounded like for you, Printf, that Nimbus was a map that you don't really play on too much, judging by what you were saying toward the beginning of the game.
Yeah, no, Nimbus I have vetoed. Sorry, a little bit dry. I've had Nimbus vetoed since almost the beginning. I tried for a couple weeks, and then I just didn't like it, so I vetoed it. But I would have preferred merry-go-round or Overgrowth to that, but only because I still stick with my veto of Overgrowth over that one, but
Sure.
I would definitely prefer the merry-go-round at least over that one.
Okay. Let's see here. Comment from Nazgul. I like Nimbus versus Protoss and Terran, but Zerg is just cry emoticon sad for me to play. Lol. Zerg OP. Aw. So, actually, speaking of that, there was a question I wanted to direct toward you, Printf, on that, and that is, obviously we know what you're going to do with Terran and Protoss. We've seen that many times. But what do you like to do when you end up rolling the Zerg pieces in a match like this?
Mutiling.
Mutiling?
I either do a Roach Burrow timing or Mutiling.
Okay. Any particular reason to go with those two strategies?
Mutiling is reminiscent of what I used to do with Protoss, which was a Phoenix opener, and then I just built heavy Phoenix mounts and just harass my opponent's death, which was really effective in Platinum League. And so that's the closest thing you get with Zerg.
Okay.
Like the macro style that I like the most. It's also most similar to Reapers. I like the mobile armies over the powerful ones.
All right. And then a question on a related topic for Nazgul. One thing I was actually curious about is I did see you went for, I think it was 9 gateways and then a +2 attack timing. Is that an imitation of any particular player? The 9 gateways in particular was kind of interesting to me. I wasn't sure if there was like a specific reason for that or if that was just like an accident. And how successful basically have you found the build to be? 9 gate was because he stopped macroing for a bit. Oh, okay. Okay. Makes sense then. Ling is distracting him. Yep. I gotta say the save on the cybernetics core was very surprising. Did not expect that to survive.
Yeah, I sent my LinkedIn and was like, kill it, and then I went back to macroing. I didn't know how close I was.
Oh.
I assumed that he still had like a couple hundred health left or something, and then he was like, that cyber. I'm like, how close was I?
Yeah, literally 2 hit points.
Nice.
That Zergling just reaching up to poke the structure, misses, dies. and then like somehow the building is still intact. Which, if you think about that, like the size of a Zergling and then the size of the building, that building is like it's screwed up. It's gonna
Yeah.
fall on its own after the
I
match is over. There's no way it's done.
that would have been like an instant win if I'd gotten that.
Yeah, that
Like,
would
you don't come back from losing your core that early.
You lose your ability to progress in tech. You can't build anything but zealots. It's tough, that's for sure. So the blink spot, and that was pretty interesting. I thought. I think the only way I think to improve that attack actually would just be using a blink train right there, just blinking them, having the AI basically blink them forward for you one by one and get them all up there. But it worked out kind of as well, getting some damage in there.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing, so
Yeah,
I
I
put
didn't
like
either.
4 spines to my front, so we would have to go all the way around them to actually attack me, so I'd have more time for lings. And then they just come into my natural, and I'm forced to put my drones and pull everything back. And I think it was still a good trade for me, but it caught me by surprise at least.
Right, right. That definitely. Yeah, me too. I've never seen anybody do that. It was kind of cool. But yeah, I said he wasn't too confident in the blink train technique. I can, yeah, understandable. It's a little tricky to use on the spot, and so he tried to do it himself. Either way, obviously something to work on there. But interesting game, all the same. Did a decent amount of damage with the attack, but unfortunately, kind of got hit with the counterattack with the mutas, and it was just kind of went downhill from there. So as far as this is a question, actually, yes, for Printf as well about this game. I know I'm not really talking about the Cannon Rush game. I have like one question for that one. That's why.
All right,
Well,
and I have one comment on that one.
well, I'll ask about that when we get there. But first off, was there a particular reason for picking the lower base as the natural, the Zerg?
It's one. If you can rush to me again, that is the better place to choose to expand if you're going to be can rushed.
Okay.
And 2, I like the general concept of getting the tree spread out there earlier.
Okay.
And I did start spraying my creep until he started applying the heavier pressure, and I just gave up, and it wasn't worth it.
I did imagine the creep start was a part of that, but not playing Zerg myself, I wasn't 100% certain on the numbers, but that like whether it was equidistant from the other base or not really. But there we go. Anyway, with that stated, do I have anything about that game to ask anymore? I don't think so. So let's take a quick look at game one. Obviously, random Catalina versus Protoss. Protoss player decides to can rush. So first of all, I would like to ask Nazgul, because you were the guy who went with the cannon rush, and you can additionally comment on this as well, Printf, since you do it a lot yourself. The effectiveness of this versus random. Is this something you tend to want to do versus random, or is it better to use other builds?
Well, my comment would be it's less effective against random because obviously if they roll Terran, it's less effective. And because the certain timings, like scout timing and force timing, although I'd use the same for everything, many people don't. It is better to know what race you're going up against. But it can definitely work against random. I've won it even against random Terrans before. So.
Okay.
And as far as Catalina goes, it's very spawn dependent, but overall it's a reasonably decent map.
Okay.
What he did, he slightly misplaced one of his pylons, so the wall was rather awkward, and he had a lot of surface area on the top one, which didn't really matter because I didn't try and kill it. But that is what generally a wall that I would use on that against Terran. Yeah.
Sure.
The execution was fine aside from slight misplacement.
Yeah. And as far as Nazgul saying, it's like versus random, it's okay versus Zerg and Protoss, but if they roll Terran, yeah, crying emoticon, bad things happen. Understandable. So, your comment?
All right. So my comment was, I have a different hockey setup for each race, and I wasn't on the Terran one.
Oops.
So we're in the middle of me being can rush. I'm like, okay, I need to stay calm, and I need to call down a mule. So I hit 1 Q, which should be called down mule for me, and nothing happens. And I'm just sitting there hitting Q, nothing's happening. And I'm like, then I realized that I was on the wrong hockey setup. So then I'm just like busy thinking about what other hockeys are screwed up.
Oh no.
As the can rush is happening, and so my workers are just sitting there for a while around a second cannon, not attacking anything. Probably noticed that.
A little bit. It was okay because
I ended up pulling off anyway, but I was like, I just didn't. I was busy trying to figure out what hockeys were working.
I gotta say, well, Gratz is staying calm in that situation because that would I don't know if you can stay calm in that situation. I guess it just worked out. But
yeah, then I ended up floating like 1,000 minerals. It was but 3 worked, but 3 Reapers won the game for me anyway, so it was fine.
well, yeah, what you can do there. Yeah, he's like, well, my counter rush was bad, so you're fine. Lol, poorly executed, crying face. Oh, Nazgul.
Cannon rush wasn't too bad. I mean,
No, it wasn't.
the barracks blocking the low ground is something that nobody does, and I stopped it on the spot because I knew it would be annoying, and I was just trying to deny high ground. I had Reaper coming out, so I could kill the probes, and I could pull workers for anything built outside the pylon wall. And cannons inside the pylon wall aren't terrifying because I can just move my barracks. So
cool.
I was wanting to make sure he couldn't get more probes in, so I couldn't let him get cannons on the low ground to protect them.
Well, there you go for anybody watching. A couple ideas to try against cannon rushes. There you go. But it's like, no one focuses the probe but you, says Nazgul in caps. It's like, what the fuck? Lol. But yeah, you does appear to be joking. In any case,
our priority should be the probe.
For sure. I do agree with that. All right. Anyway, that kind of wraps it up for any questions I have. Any additional comments from you, Zero?
I think he covered everything. The only other question I also had, well, it was the Zerg game. You know, between the creep spread and the bases. You took the third base. You said it's faster to spread creep down that way than it is up, even with the rocks.
Well, like you can get the creep spread onto the middle of the map faster.
Oh, to the middle of the map. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you've got.
Okay.
Because my logic was between the bases, you'd want your queens and all of your zerglings or drones or whatever to be able to run faster.
Well, drones don't gain benefit, but
it's probably more specific with the queens, especially when dealing with air defense.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that might be the same. I'm not 100% certain. So the mid ground thing does make sense.
Right.
My primary concern though was if I got cannon rushed again.
Yeah.
Because he might try and redeem himself.
For sure. In any case, like I said before, thank you very much for playing, guys. Unfortunately, Pixel Knight versus Faust is not happening tonight. Pixel Knight had to cancel, and Faust apparently has other things to do. So, this is our only match for tonight. Hope you guys had a fantastic time, and we will see you next weekend.
Yes.
Good night.
Thank you very much. Nazgul says night.